Hello everybody, my name is Hammock. Today I want to talk about my tier list of what is the best engineer melee weapon. And this is generally mainly Highlander, but also I guess in a pub setting if you really want to try hard. Because in a pub anything works. And this is going to be mainly as sort of documentation on my opinion, just in case there's a bunch of engineer wrench changes in the upcoming Forest Fire update or whatever it's going to be called. And yeah, I think this will just be good to talk about anyway. So I'm going to start off with the engineer's default wrench. It's alright. It's probably the worst of all the wrenches, just because it doesn't really give anything extra. But it's not a bad thing. You can still use it in pubs. I still use it in pubs. I like playing stock engineer, especially if you got a little shiny gold one. Stock engineer is my favorite. That's probably another topic for another time. But yeah, it's alright, but it's not. It hasn't got anything interesting. So I guess I'll go straight into what my favorite wrench and what I think is probably my favorite wrench on Highlander defense, and some situations otherwise, but since engineer's a defense class, that's pretty much his strength. I want to go into why Eureka Effect, I think, is my favorite wrench, specifically for payload defense. And I think I've talked about Eureka Effect a lot of times. I talked about it a long time ago and whenever it's had updates, because it's probably my favorite weapon for engineer, just because it's so interesting and so creative. And I've used Eureka Effect in Highlander defense for, I want to say, 4 seasons now. Not super consistently, but definitely in the last 2 or 3 seasons, I've pretty much been running Eureka on defense all the time on maps like Upward and Badwater, and I guess I'll go through it. Okay, so Badwater first defense. If you try and back out while you're alive and rescue your gun out, you can do that, rescue Ranger, but you're also running through a huge sightline, at which point the sniper on the enemy team has most likely taken Hill, and is going to just pick off everybody as they run away, unless you're all grouped together, in which you'll probably go after the medic. But you're in a very awkward position when you're rescuing out, because you're taking mini-crits, and you're not moving that quickly, and it's not always a guaranteed chance. Maybe you won't even get your sentry out, because it's most likely have been a sap bombed at the time that you're backing out. The clinch of the deal of you backing out is probably you've lost your medic or you've lost your sentry. So you're most likely running out with your dispenser, which may or may not be a good decision. In the higher level, you don't really hold second point on Badwater, it's just a throwaway. You just hold that corner while the NG sets up on third. So even then, running all the way back to third and possibly getting bullied by a good spy who intercepts you, you're probably not going to make it. Then again, this is all arguable, but consistency-wise, if you're about to lose first point, you can teleport out you with the Eureka Effect, having gotten into a good spot, because you standing there for a good 4 or 5 seconds with your hitbox remaining, you could easily die. But I've got quite a few funny clips of me just TPing out and then people being like, wait, what the fuck? What just happened? Because they're just not used to it. And you get out, and then you immediately run to third, because you want to set up on third point, get that third hold on Badwater as soon as possible, because that's a good stronghold. Not as good as last, but it's still really good. And you only get that set up, and one of the main problems with setting up on third point in Badwater is you only have a medium ammo pack by the window, and a small ammo pack up top, but you have to peek boiler to get it. And yeah, when you're initially placing, you run up top, you place a dispenser, you now have 100 metal. You run up, take the small pack, you now have 130 metal. You then run over, build the gun, pick up the ammo pack, then place your exit, start building up your gun, build your exit primarily first, because the exit takes a while to build, and then when your exit's built, you TP back to base, get ammo, and then TP back in, and once you have that exit set up, you have an infinite source of metal. I've made a video of this actually. Let me see if I can bring this video up of my, like, not my ideal, but like a good setup for that hold. Like, I made a big mistake at the end where I just peeked sniper because our main caller called it so many times that it was like, oh, I'm going to follow my main caller and run into a sightline. Ugh. Wait, do I have a screen capture thing? I do. That's not it. Professionalism. I think that's it. Oh wait, yeah, should be. There we go. There we go. Eureka effect battle, the third setup. Let me just move this shit over here. There we go. Okay, there it is. So let's mute this. Okay, so you ran all the way. I ran all the way from spawn. I'm there. I TP'd out at first point. I ran from spawn to third. I had 200 metal. I still have the Eureka effect equipped. I run to the stairs, place a dispenser so spies can't get in, but they can still get up there anyway. But you still build it there because medics like to stand there and get ammo, and everyone likes to get ammo there. You run up top. You get the small pack here, so you have 130 because Eureka effect takes away some of the metal you get. Still 130 though. You run around. You build your gun at the window. You pick up the ammo pack. I wanted to just get it up quick. You build your exit. You start putting some metal into your sentry. And you upgrade your exit. Well, not upgrade your exit, just build it, because it'll take a while to build. And then once it's built, you can TP back. I just want to be optimal with the amount of metal that I have here. See, I like went to switch to like Wrangler there. Like, I fucked that up a little bit, but what you're meant to do is you pull out the Wrangler just for a second to pop off the sentry shield, so that when you're TPing out and getting ammo, a soldier can't just randomly like 2-hit DH your gun. Like, you want to have that Wrangler shield up when you TP out, ideally. But most people don't really counter it because they're not used to the Eureka effect strats, but because I think it's such a good strat, I can imagine this being at least meta, or maybe like a side grade to what you could usually do, especially since it gives you so much like versatility. Like, there's so many situations where I've just been on like third point and I'm like 1 HP waiting for a medic to crossbow me, and it's like, dude, I could just TP back, get some HP, then come back in like the space of like 2 to 3 seconds. It's okay, I run out. Usually you should like press your loadout key for like optimal time, but I wasn't as mechanically inclined that day. It's also annoying because if you have a sniper, for example, Starshot, who likes to sit in the window and machina snipe people, occasionally they'll take your ammo pack, and it's like, and you hold in the rage, you hold in the nerd rage, and you just go, fuck it, I'm gonna go back to spawn and get ammo. But if I had Jag here, I'd just be like, I need that ammo, and like, you'd be like, oh, but you have a dispenser. You walk to the right to the dispenser and get shot by the sniper, like, or you get shot by a spy. Like, you're so fucked in a lot of situations as NG because of sightlines. It's just like having Eureka effect for a stable source of metal is very nice here. So now I get my gun to level 3, and I can sort of just sit here, trying to make sure I sit close to the ammo pack so Starshot doesn't take it. But yeah, this is just like a situation that can occur. Let me just go back to... I need to organize these scenes. Ooh, there we go. That's a situation that can occur when you are playing with Eureka effect. And it's pretty cool. And I also like it for upward, because you want to, like, first point, if you try and back out, you either back out through hill and get sniped, or you back out through tunnel and get chased because you're separated, and most likely killed by the spy, because the spy tends to lurk around that area. And being able to just, like, hide near, like, the barrels, and then TP out of your Eureka effect when you know shit's gonna go down. You can then run back to second, because second point in upward is actually relevant as compared to Badwater, and you want to set up that octopus hold, also known as the strong opinions hold, but I'm pretty sure they call it the octopus hold just because they don't want to gloat the fact that it's their hold. But it's the strong opinions hold, where you have like the level 3 sentry at the end of tunnel on Badwater, the dispenser on top of the tunnel exit, with like everyone pretty much congregating around there, and also a tele exit roundabout near the attic, so your sniper can stay up there, or maybe your heavy can be up there. But that's roughly the hold, and that's a really strong hold on upward, especially since the standard, like, the hold that was used for a long time of like having the sentry like watching the point as you come out the door is just bad, because you're just giving high ground to the enemy team, and it means they can easily just go in for bombs. So you want to have that forward hold. It's pretty much, you have the forward hold on upward, or you lose the hold and you go back to third, because third is also very good, and you don't want to overcommit. So backing out early on first point and getting that strong second hold on upward is very important. So you want to back out, and when I back out on upward with Eureka Effect, I then immediately switch to Jag, because at that point Eureka Effect has like completed its usefulness. You know, like Bad Water on third you can use Eureka Effect for the metal sustain, but on like upward third I'd rather have Jag and keep like, because I have a good source of ammo on upward third, and getting that gun up quickly is a good thing, especially when it gets spammed out. You also want to be able to run back to upward last and build a tele exit up in tiles when you're getting out. I guess you could do that with Eureka Effect. I guess you could like build it in tiles. Yeah, you could probably stay on Eureka Effect if you would want to go for an aggressive last forward hold on upward, where you have your sentry and your like base in tires with like a tele, because then you could easily just tele back to base for ammo and then tele back in, because there's only one medium ammo pack up there, and if you don't have a dispenser up there. We are talking about the engineer wrenches. I'm specifically talking about the Eureka Effect at this point, because I think it's one of the best wrenches. I guess that's also a good lead-in, because, well, I think Eureka Effect is the best defense wrench for payload. I'd say arguably the best wrench overall in terms of versatility is probably the Jag, and I think everyone agrees that, just because it allows you to build faster. It has roughly the same repairing, like, DPS as the normal wrench, but just allows you to build faster, and the downside of, like, taking 3 hits to break a sapper is often negligible in high level, because as soon as a sapper is placed on a gun, immediately the enemy team is firing rockets and grenades and Tomislav shots at the sentry, so when it is sapped, it's pretty much dead anyway, and you committing time to unsapping it is just putting you in the line of fire. So I'll run Jag on last points specifically, so for example, I was saying on Bad Water, I'll run Eureka on first point and third point. I'll then switch to Jag on last point, because I don't really need the sustain with Eureka Effect, because it's more like last moment, like I need that gun up immediately, and I have two big ammo packs on Bad Water last that I can use, so I'm not in trouble there. It's mainly just having a gun up consistently, and when it goes down, building it up again. So that's also very good, especially since you also can rescue your gun around on last. Like you can have like a forward gun, or like a gun underneath map room, or a gun in shadow, or a gun in lower, or a gun in Lenny, and you can just keep moving that around whenever they do a different push, just to like screw them over, so they end up using an Uber, dropping down to a map room to kill the gun, and suddenly the gun isn't there, it's somewhere else, and now they've just wasted a bunch of Uber, and that's pretty fun to do. So I'd say like Jag is probably the standard one. Like if you're playing Highlander, or if you're just tryharding as a professional engineer man, just use Jag. You can't go wrong with the Jag. You can go wrong with the Eureka Effect on a few times. It's why I think it's a side grade. You trade like the versatility for being good at certain things, and I like it just because it adds this level of creativity. And yeah, that's really cool. So we've got, in my opinion, Eureka Effect at the best in payload defense, with Jag at the best in like generalist on defense. Then I'd probably discuss the Southern Hospitality. Yeah, I know I've misspelled Occam's Razor. I looked at Wikipedia and that's how it was spelled. But I know it's spelled like CK. Okay. Fucking... I think it was Granger Bob who has Occam's Razor on his knife, I think. Yeah. So, the Southern Hospitality, which people have used in Highlander for the longest time, before Jag was actually relevant. Like, Jag was shitter for the longest time. Like, it just didn't actually build faster. And people just used Sun Hospitality, and it's probably not good to run at all now. The only time I would warrant using it is in a situation where you're going to be using a level 3 sentry and you have to hold off on your own for a situation, and I would say that would be CP Steel holding E point of a level 3 sentry, which is something that's done in Europe quite a lot. Like, I notice in NA they probably run minis a lot, but in EU we run level 3s a lot, like even on attack on CP Steel. And yeah, like CP Steel is probably the most disgusting time to play Engineer in Highlander, in my opinion. Like, you're expected to go onto E point after B point, build a level 3 sentry, and then just sit there and then like maybe have like your flank in lobby, occasionally have your sniper with you, and you pretty much have to deal with a sniper peeking window and you can't do anything about it and he's gonna kill you. You have to deal with a soldier going underneath C point and jumping up and bombing you, and you have to pretty much land every single like shot on him, or he's just gonna 2-hit you. Or a spy just walking up on you and sapping you while you get gangbanged by the flank, and all these other things. So I'd say Sun Hospitality is good for that situation, just because if a spy decides to 1v1 you and he doesn't land like an immediate like sap and headshot on you, like where he just saps the gun, ambi, like that's a pretty guaranteed way of killing an NG. If he doesn't do that, you have a pretty good chance of killing him with Sun Hospitality, because he places a sapper, you hit the sapper once, you then go to wrench him in the face and bleed him, and because he's bleeding, his aim's a little bit off, just in case it's a gun spy. And then if he decides to commit and like shoot you and break his disguise and whatever, you just break the sapper with the second hit on the gun, and then the gun shoots the spy and kills him. Or he decides to run away, and you can like either shoot him with your rescue ranger or run back to get HP. And you can pretty much do like a good mind game trade there using like the sapper. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call that, but I like pretty much like I've talked about that for years now, that strat, and there's still a few spies who are very surprised that you can do that as NG. And I think that's really cool, just having that like you out mind game the spy, you know. But yeah, that's probably the only situation where you want to run Sun Hospitality now. Anytime I see like a competitive game, like a high level game where the NG is just running Sun Hospitality on defense, I'm just like, oh, not like this, you know. Like, there's so much potential. You could be running Eureka Effect. I wait to see the time where like top Prem teams or top NA Plat teams are running Eureka Effect on defense, and I'm like, yes, I made my mark, you know? I've been doing that for so long. I made like a fucking video like ages ago about, oh, the Eureka Effect is great and stuff, and like, then Uncle Dane made his video, and then people are like, oh, you're copying Uncle Dane because you use Eureka Effect, and I'm just like, oh, no, god damn it. Oh well. So tier list so far, in terms of defense, we've got Eureka Effect, then Jag, then Sun Hospitality, and then Wrench. That's all the wrenches, right? Oh yeah, there's Gunslinger, which, on defense, I'd say there's a few situations where, yeah, I actually put Gunslinger above Stock Wrench. Maybe above Summon Hospitality. Because, like, if you're in last hold, and, like, your gun is down, and they're in, like, you're on upward last, they're pushing the cart, they're about to cap, your gun is down, you just switch to minis, right? Pull out Wrangler and just go beep, 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 and just, like, try to do something quickly, like that, or you just run in and try to block the cart, like, whatever your team wants you to do. And, yeah, I'd say Gunslinger is probably higher than those two wrenches on defense. Like, I guess this depends on the mindset, like, are you planning on this tier list affecting your overall pick rate? Like, oh, this engineer's running Southern Hospitality on defense. According to this tier list, he should be running Gunslinger instead. No, I don't mean that. I mean, like, in overall effectiveness, I'd say Gunslinger on defense is probably more effective than Stock Wrench and maybe Southern Hospitality, as compared to, like, you know, having Jag being above that. But yeah, like, yeah. Okay, so defense, I've got Eureka Effect, Jag. Probably Gunslinger, depending on if you have no defense anymore, like your defenses have been thoroughly penetrated, and then some Hospitality, and then Wrench. And all the other reskins that are really cool. I don't know why there aren't more reskins. I really want to hit my sentry with a ham. And offense, which I guess also includes King of the Hill, Gunslinger is by far at the top, with possibly Jag second, in case you feel like running level 3 sentries on offense. I guess there are some situations, like Badwater pushing last, having a level 3 sentry can work in certain strategies. Or Steel, for example. Like, you can use Gunslinger definitely if you're a DM NG, but if you're less inclined with DM and you've maybe got some strats pre-organized with your team, you can run Jag and be more aggressive with some sentries, like, oh no, there's a flank with a level 3 sentry on it, what shall I do? You could also run Eureka Effect if you're going for strats, like, on some 5 CP maps like Gully Wash, which offer a lot of versatility for flanking and shenanigans, I do like Eureka Effect, because there'll be situations where we're contesting an area, and I'm like, shit, okay, the way things are going, we're going to lose this point, but we're still going to have a goodish hold on the next point. I'm going to set up a teleporter here where they hopefully won't notice, and then I'm going to hopefully TP behind and go for a cheeky sniper or medic pick. And that tends to happen pretty well. I mean, most situations I'll like TP, go for the flank, and then probably die and miss all my shots, but the game sense is there. I had the brain to go for it, I just didn't have the hands to hit it, you know? But I think that's a reasonable time. It's more of just a meme, though. Like, I wouldn't put Eureka Effect in any kind of tier list on offense, or King of the Hill, or 5CP, besides shenanigans, gimmicks, you know? I'd definitely put Gunslinger at the top, because the Micro Machine, the Mini Sentry, we have killed Spuff with this weapon single-handedly. Haha! Steam-powered user forearm. Only a few people will get this reference, but it's a good reference. Also the punching thing is really cool. Like, you don't see people using the Gunslinger punch, but it's actually got some use in some situations. Like, for example, if you see a heavy on his own, who hasn't been overhealed, he's got 300 HP, if you try and fight him with the shotgun, you have to land maybe 5 or 6 direct shots, I think probably 6, before he dies, in which after the first 2 or 3 shots, he's killed you, definitely. Unless he's just throwing, or just carnage. In which that situation, that shouldn't be a thing statistically tracked. And with Gunslinger, you hit him 3 times and you can kill him if he has 300 HP. Because you go 65 with the first hit, 130 second hit, and then third hit, 195 on top of that, which is like 355, I don't know, something like that, I think. Yeah. Huh. I don't know math. 350, maybe. That amount of damage is quite a lot. And it's also very surprising, especially since if you sneak up on a heavy, punch him by, like, in between the first and the second punch, he's starting to turn around, and you just run around him, counter his, like, direction, and, like, go, whatcha, and just hit him with the third hit, and he dies, and it's really funny. and it, like, it works surprisingly well if you manage to get into close range with the heavy to punch him without him knowing. And also, I guess, if there are no other teammates around, but it's still pretty funny. You can also, I guess, do that on like other classes like Demo and Soldier, providing they don't juggle you. And it's also cool to like punch a heavy, turn around and see his medic, hey there, whoosh-ah! And just destroy him. But yeah, that's probably not a guaranteed strat I should encourage for Highlander, but it's still a funny strat. So I guess my tier list for offense, including King of the Hill and 5CP, is Gunslinger at the top, Jag a close second if you want to do level 3 shenanigans, maybe Eureka Effect third if you want to do you know, like teleport flanking shenanigans as well as possible sentry shenanigans. And then, I guess, some hospitality and then wrench. I guess it's also worth noting, if you're on 5 CP last, using Eureka Effect is very good, because you switch to Eureka Effect, you go and build your gun wherever it is, and like if that gun isn't like directly next to spawn, like if you're building a gun next to spawn, you can build it, run back to the resupply cabinet and run back, in which it will take maybe like 1 or 2 seconds. But if it takes longer than 4 seconds to run from your gun to spawn and then run back, you should use the Eureka Effect, because with the Eureka Effect you can build the gun, TP back to spawn, and then immediately like pick up the resupply and then run out. Or if you want to be like super smart, you could place the exit and your gun if you want to like keep up that. Because of like if you use the like Eureka Effect bindings, you can do it very quickly. And it will optimize time. I guess if you're also playing like 6v6 and you want to build a sentry on last in like Badlands or Snakewater or a map like that, I guess also process. I don't know. I don't know many 6s maps where you can do that viably. I guess Badlands and Snakewater are main ones. You like I've definitely seen Mookie do that. He runs Eureka Effect in 6s. I got like an interesting clip a while ago in Highlander where I bamboozled Mookie with the Eureka Effect, and I think he was surprised by the fact that he saw Eureka Effect, knowing that I've seen him use it in 6s. I thought that was just really funny. So yeah, I guess to reiterate, on defense, my tier list for Engineer's Wrenches is Eureka Effect, then Jag, then Summon Hospitality and Wrench, with arguably the Gunslinger above Summon Hospitality. If you're in last, your gun has died, and you really want to like just build up a gun again, you want to switch to minis, build a gun, and then go and like contest the cart, like if it's like right there, you might as well switch to minis if you're in that situation. And on offense, Gunslinger definitely being at the top, because it actually makes Engineer a relevant class. With Jag and Eureka Effect a close second if you want to do level 3 sentry shenanigans, or if you want to do teleporting around doing silly flanking, which is pretty fun with the Eureka Effect, especially on Gully Wash. But I'm pretty sure everyone who's scrimmed against me knows all my tricks on Gully Wash. It's pretty silly. I've been meaning to make a video of just me doing all my shit on Gully Watch because I've got so many clips, but I know that as soon as I post the video, everyone's gonna go, oh shit, that's where he's building his teleporter, and it's just not gonna work anymore. Implying people watch me. Ha! So yeah, we have Gunslinger, then Jag Eureka Effect, and then Summon Hospitality at the Wrench with the Bomb. My consensus at the end would be discussing that I guess there's not really much we can do to change stock, because it's stock, and if we change stock it's going to make other things different. But currently I'd say Summon Hospitality is in a weaker place than the other wrenches, just because Jag provides overall better utility, and Eureka Effect adds creativity. Like, maybe Summon Hospitality should fulfill the role more of being able to hit people with your wrench and fight back. Like, maybe if they buff Summon Hospitality so its hit range was like Islander range or something like that, so it was a lot more easier to just like chase after a spy and be like, get back here, and hit him with the wrench. It would also be interesting because you could like maybe stand a little bit further away from your gun when you're repairing it so that you don't get splashed as much. I don't know, I think weapon range on a wrench could be interesting. It could also be incredibly broken, as with any change relating to the engineer, but I think that could be interesting. Also because I'm really bad at aiming with my gun, so having a wrench that I can just swing around and hit people with would be hilarious. So, okay. Those are my thoughts on a tier list of engineer weapons. Let me just quickly read chat because certain people have been talking. I've been playing TF2 for 800 hours, and I think the best wrench is the Jag. Yeah, Jag is a very good wrench. It gives you a lot of building capabilities. I'd like to see actually a wrench that allows you to build really quickly, like build level 3s really quickly, but the level 3s were a lot more fragile, so like I guess I've suggested this before, and people always go, gunslinger. But, like, I mean a level 3 sentry that can be built really quick, like, maybe like 5 to 6 seconds. Like, just build a level 3 sentry really quick. Maybe it doesn't even cost that much metal. But the level 3 sentry is like 10 HP. So, like, it's literally like a surprise sentry. Like, you put it around the corner, it just blows up someone. But, like, if they know it's there, they can just kill it really quickly. Like, that'll be funny. It'll be really mean to just have level 3 sentries and just, like, weird spots and just, like, I don't know, an evil smile, as you can probably hear, has creeped across my face, thinking of all the level 3 sentries I could just build in places and scare the crap out of people. Oh, that'd be pretty neat. Okay. Okay. Some hospitality I feel is kind of useless because the only upside it is the bleed, which is only good to recognize spies. The 20% fire damage vulnerability can be bad if... Yeah, I think the fire damage vulnerability is pretty meh. Like, obviously, if you run some hospitality with Rescue Ranger, there's that one situation where a pirate's gonna hit you with a flare and you're gonna fucking die because you're, like, taking mini crits, and fire vulnerability is you're basically taking 50% extra damage and you're just fucking dead. Especially if it's Scorch Shot as well, and you're just like, no! I'm melting! And you just die. And it's like... It's a weird counter, the fire damage. Like... It's like, It's like, I don't know what they intended the relationship to be with that weapon. Like, Sun Hospitality Bleed was, like, definitely inclined towards spies, so maybe, like, a counter that spies could bring to the table, like... I don't even know, like... It doesn't even add that much. I guess Sun Hospitality was introduced very early into the game. It was introduced in the Engineer update, I believe, yeah. I think it was one of the first, like, community-made weapons as well. Like, it was a community-made weapon in the Engineer update, as I recall. I think it was made by someone called, like, Clockwork or something. Something Clock, I don't know. I've got this weird memory for TF2 stuff. Okay. I want to hit my sentry with cranium. Yeah, that'll be pretty funny. Okay, so that is my opinion on the current engineer wrenches. At least, I guess, what date is it today? The 8th of July 2017, pre-Forest Fire update, or whatever it's called, just in case there are wrench changes. I don't think there might be, but I've heard it's going to be a big update, so maybe maybe there'll be some indirect wrench changes with the mechanics of the game being tweaked. So I guess that's a thing that I just wanted to put out there. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.